the way I hire managers is different probably than anyone else. I like to bring them into the field and see if they'll jump in without me asking, because I want to see if they're proactive instead of having to see whether or not I have to tell them, hey, this is what you have to do. And Chorten was one of those guys that, like, I didn't even have to ask. Like, when he would see me looking at something, he would jump on it. And I thought that was really cool. And the more that I got to work with him, the more I realized that he is a good leader and that he can lead. And I think that's so important, because when I look for a leader, it's not just about leading a group of people. It's about how do you deal with your employees? How do you deal with the people that you work with? And he's a very humble guy. And I think that, you know, for a place like this on an island that's not used to a 5-star service, it's very good to have someone that is, you know, humble and is willing to teach and not act like they know it all. And so, you know, that was, and I had gone through so many different interviews at the time. When I picked Chorten, I decided to pick Chorten because of the fact that all the other people who came for the job, they always wanted to sit behind the desk and just point the finger. And I believe in having a working general manager, someone who's going to get their hands dirty and someone who's going to do what they're going to ask somebody else to do. They'll do it first before they ask. Absolutely. I mean, I've been in the hotel business since 1998, and I have hotels in the States, and this was my first Caribbean property. But I always look for someone who is going to be hands-on, who is going to go out there and actually, you know, get it done if someone else doesn't get it done, but then he trains them how to do and what they didn't do right and teaches them so they don't do that again. And that's important. You know, I think that I'm not really good with someone who just sits behind the desk and points fingers. I like someone who's actually gonna, you know, get out there and do it themselves if they have to. Absolutely. Chorten came here as an IT manager, and he didn't even come for the general manager position. And that is the kind of thing that I always tell when I'm talking to individuals who are graduating out of college or going from high school to college or from high school just going to work, is that you never know where you're going to end up if you go in with a positive attitude and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to that next level. And you know, that's the thing that I think a lot of people think, that they're entitled to get the position because they went to all this schooling and they feel like that's what I should have. That's the wrong attitude. I know a lot of people that went through all this schooling and they actually work for a general manager. And so I think that it's important that you understand and listen to what the employer wants, and try to figure out how can I help fill that, because each job is different, each industry is different. But I think what's the same is that if you go in with a humble mindset and you go in there willing to learn and listen, I think you will succeed in life as either an entrepreneur or a general manager or whatever you set out to do. I think struggle is what, you know, helps people to grow. I think, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I went through my own struggles, and I think, you know, Chorten knows what it's like to start and have nothing. So he's not afraid to take risk. But he's very careful with taking that risk because he knows what it's like also to have nothing. So it's, you know, it's having faith and believing and not having an ego. And I think that it's important Chorten has a very spiritual side, and he knows how to take time to himself before he deals with a situation. A lot of people let the stress of the job get to them, and then they take it out on other people. Other people wear the face of what he's going through and he's struggling with. So Chorten's really good with getting away and getting in a mindset of letting it wash out of him, and then he comes back and deals with the situation in a way that is humble and the right way to do it. I see Chorten owning his own resort one day. I see Chorten having his own properties and his own business, and I know he will. I mean, he's dedicated to always learning and being open-minded and not knowing it all. He's not scared to ask questions, and you know, he's just a guy who doesn't like conflict, and he tries to work it out before it becomes something that's conflict. And so, you know, at the end of the day, someone like that will definitely, and with his drive and passion towards wanting to be in the hospitality business, I think for sure he'll definitely have his own resort one day, or many resorts one day.